Hi everyone, so we got some news on Last Epoch. They just posted this update here on their forums, including the upcoming plans for the future seasons and a roadmap. So we can see this here right now. It doesn't really show all that much on this roadmap here, but effectively they have confirmed, okay, they are working on Season 4 and Season 5, which has, pretty good, typical seasonal updates, I guess, for what we can expect right now. And after that, we're gonna get the Orobis expansion. So the storyline is gonna continue and there's gonna be some bigger update. They didn't really go into detail about what that entails, but at least timeline-wise, we can kind of expect sometime late next year or so this is probably going to happen. With Season 3 having launched in August, right now we expect Season 4 in January, and then Season 5 is probably gonna be somewhere in spring, like May, I guess, or something like that. And I would expect like the expansion to be in fall 2026. But there were some details in this post that have definitely upset a lot of people. So first of all, there was some talk about paid DLCs. So previously there was another post that the Last Epoch devs have made, which said effectively the game has not been profitable since launch last year. So they've been just kind of like operating on a minus, kind of developing the seasons and just not getting enough back from supporter packs and MTX sales. So they decided, okay, we might have to actually do a paid expansion. So this is something that is kind of like breaking a promise that they had originally made, which was that future content will always be free and this will always be optional to purchase anything. No pay to win, there's going to be MTX and supporter packs, and this is like how they monetize the game. But it turns out they cannot operate like that because they just don't earn enough to kind of sustain this long term. Recently, they got bought by Krafton, which was pretty big negative news by itself because the company doesn't have a very good reputation. But then also came this announcement about paid DLCs. Now, it looks like that they have actually taken that back, and we see this here with what I highlighted. So they say that this Orobis expansion is in fact going to be free. So going from that perspective where they originally said, okay, we have to make paid DLCs in order to sustain ourselves, now it's going to be free. However, there is this coming as well, which is these new paradox classes, whatever they may be. But effectively, they're adding more classes to the game in some way or another, and those are going to be paid DLCs. So I guess we can expect it's a little bit like Diablo 3's Necromancer pack, where, okay, you have like 6 classes available, and then the 7th one is behind a paywall or something like that. And it seems like people have been very upset about this. Personally, I also don't really like that this is what's happening. So I wish there was a better way, but yeah, it is. This is what is going to happen. So we don't know anything about the price yet. We don't know what this class will look like, or how this will go exactly. I guess we're going to learn more as the expansion approaches. I think that we can definitely see that they are trying to like make a bit of a compromise, but it seems people have been kind of like ripping them apart in the forums. Yeah, so the comments are really bad. And I have to say, I was kind of ready to just write off Last Epoch like completely. I feel like since the launch last year, that was incredible for them, and they had like this insane success with like 1 million or even 2 million sold copies at this point. So they had like a really good window for release there. And then, for example, throughout 2025, they had like consistently pretty bad luck with their launch windows, with, for example, PoE coming in and so on. And yeah, they were kind of like just late on their launches as well. So I'm not really sure how much I trust all of this right now with the roadmap. I did not really expect we're gonna see like any major updates or something that will really like turn it around. But maybe there's something to be expected, who knows. At the very least, with Season 4 most likely launching in January, I'm going to check that out. I think this is probably going to be a very good launch window there, because D4 is going to be out, PoE is going to be out, so it seems like they have like a really good window of opportunity there. We'll see how this will go. Maybe it's a really good update, and maybe there is some more hope for the future after that. I feel like in general the Last Epoch patches have been relatively good, but they have just been extremely slow and late and very unpredictable timing as well. And I think something that Last Epoch really needs is more predictability, more proper scheduling, every 3 months or every 4 months, something like that. Put out a season, and then people will actually remember the game and will come back at like a certain time. So at least this is something that I would just suggest to them. And I guess we'll see how this will go. It seems like a lot of people are just like very negative about it, for good reason, I think, since the original premise of every future content is free is now broken. In any case, that's already about it, so there's not really a lot of detail here to really dive in or so. I guess you're gonna hear more in the upcoming weeks, maybe after the holidays or something like that. They're gonna really go into, you know, like season 4 mode and like push out the trailers and whatever, and then we'll see how this will go. For now, let me know what you think. So do you think this is okay? Do you like also see it as very negative, or are you just fine with this system? I'll be quite curious to hear some thoughts. Personally, I'm also quite on the negative side, and there might be more people like me that are a little bit on the fence and are maybe ready to completely drop the game in the future or so, but I'm gonna give it another shot. We'll see, and hopefully it's gonna turn out well. So that is what I got here for now. Hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.